Good morning. My name is Shalini, Assistant Professor from CSE Department. So we have seen four types of conditional statements. So the next statement that we have left with is your if-else ladder. We call it as what? An else-if ladder. So else-if ladder is one of the conditional control flow statements. It is used to make a decision among multiple choices. Let's see the syntax for the is else if ladder. So here you will be having multiple conditions to check: condition 1, condition 2, condition 3, condition n, and you will be having a default statement then followed by statements x, right? So if the condition 1 is true, then statements 1 will get executed and you will be directly coming out to the statement x, right? If it is false, then you will be checking the next condition. If it is true, then statements 2 will get executed. If it is also false, then you will be going to condition 3 and you will be executing statement 3 if it is true. If it is false, then you will be going to the next condition. Like that, you are going to check all your conditions in this else if ladder. If all the conditions are false, then finally your else part will get executed. That is nothing but the default statement. Okay, then directly you will be going to the next statements after executing the default statement. So this is nothing but the syntax for else if ladder. In the above syntax, if and else are keywords, therefore should be a space between else and if they come together. Condition 1, condition 2 and condition 3 are relational expressions or logical expressions or any other expressions that returns only either true or false. It is important to note that the condition should be enclosed within parentheses. Statements 1, statements 2 and statements 3, so on statements and non-default statements are either simple statements or compound statements or null statements. Statement X is a valid C statement. Then see the next one, how to draw the flow chart for this else if ladder, right? How to draw the flow chart for this else if ladder. See how to draw the flow chart for this else if ladder. So you will be having multiple conditions, condition 1, condition 2 and condition 3. If it is true, then statements 1 will get executed and you will be coming out directly. Else condition 2 will get executed and you will be coming to statement X. Else condition 3 will executed and you will be coming to statements 3. Like that, you will be executing all your statements based upon your conditions. If all the conditions are false, then default statement will get executed and you will be coming out to the statements X. Right? Is it clear? Right? Whenever else if ladder is encountered, condition 1 is tested first. If it is true, the statements 1 gets executed. After then, the control transfers to where statement X. If the condition 1 is false, then statements 2 is tested. If condition 2 is also false, the other conditions are tested. If all are false, the default statement at the end gets executed. After then, the control transfers to where statement X. If any one of the conditions are true, then the body associated with it gets executed. After then, the control directly goes to where statements X. Right? Let's see the next slide. Let's see one example. If you want to print the total and average, then how to use this else if ladder? You need to read 3 persons marks, then you need to find out the average of that particular person. Based upon that average, you will be saying that whether person has got a distinction or he got a first class or second class. See, based upon the average, if the average is greater than 75, then you will be saying that he has passed with distinction. Else if you will be checking the next condition, if average falls between 60 and 75, then you will be saying that he got first class. Else you will be checking another condition. If it falls between 50 and 60, then you will be saying that second class. Else if average is less than 50, then you will be saying that fail. So this is an example for else if ladder for printing the grades of a student. So these are some of the examples to try it yourself. Write a C program to check whether the given number is even or odd using if else. Write a C program to find the roots of a quadratic equation. Try it by yourself. Okay, try it by yourself. Then see, I will be going to the next topic. Right? So the next topic is nothing but the switch case program. So let's see, the next one is the switch case. So switch is also an important part in your C language. What do you mean by this switch? First, C, switch is a multi-way decision making statement in C. It is a branching statement in C. The switch statement provides another way to decide which statement to execute next. The switch statement evaluates an expression, then attempts to match the result to one of several possible cases. Each case contains a value and a list of statements. The switch case statements is used when we have multiple options and we need to perform a different task for each option. The flow of control transfers to statement associated with the first case value that matches. Often a break statement is used and the last statement in each case statements list. So here are the keywords in switch case, that is nothing but switch, case, default and break. Here let's see the syntax for your switch followed by an expression, case, expression, value 1, statements, block 1, then break. Like that you will be having all your statements, then followed by default statement and next statement. Let's see switch conditional statement, case 1. If it is true, statements of that particular case will get executed. If it is false, then you will be going to the next case, and if it is true, then you will be executing some statements related to that particular case. Like that you will be checking all your cases, and finally you will be executing the default statement and you will be coming out from the statements after switch. Right? How does switch case get executed? If the value of expression is 1, then the code under case 1 will be executed. Similarly, if the value is 2, then it will check for the matching case in order from start to close of switch case. If the first case does not match, the control will go to case 2 and so on. If no match is found, it executes default statement if available. Let's see one example. Okay, here you are having an x value as 2. So switch off 2, you will be directly going to case 2 and you will be executing printf choice is 2. And you will be using the break statement. If you use break, then you will be directly coming out from that particular case and you will be exiting from your switch. If you don't use break, the statements which are there after your case 2 will get executed. So there is no use of using the switch if you don't use break in your switch. Now you can predict the output. If x is equals to 1, then you will be getting choice is 1. If x is equals to 6, then you will be getting the default statement will get executed because you are not having a choice called as 6. So the default statement called choice other than 1, 2 and 3 will be displayed on your output screen. What is about case in switch? Each case is followed by the value to be compared to and a column. The expression provided in the switch should result in a constant value, otherwise it would not be valid. Duplicate case values are not allowed. Case does not always need to have order 1, 2, 3 and so on. We can have any number of case statements within a switch. A switch statement can have an optional default case which must appear at the end of the switch. The default case can be used for performing a task when none of the cases is true. The default case can be used for performing a task when none of the cases is true. The default may be placed in any part inside the switch case. Break statements are useful when you want your program flow to come out of the switch body. Whenever a break statement is encountered in the switch body, the control comes out of the switch case statement. It can be used to terminate a case in the switch statement using of break in switch as optional. What are optional in switch? Default and break. So the default and break are optional in switch. You can also you can also don't use the break. Then if suppose if your switch off I, if your I is 2, then you will be getting the output as case 2, case 3, case 4 and default because you are not using break in your switch. So this is nothing but if you don't use the break, then you will be getting all these as your outputs on your output screen. So there is no use of using switch here because you are executing all your statements. So break is very, very important in your switch. Because if the output is not having, if the program is not having a default case, if suppose if I is equals to 5, you are not having case 5, so you will be not getting any output because the case 5 is not there. So if the case is not there, you need to print a default case. So if the default case is not getting if the default case is not there in your program, then it would be difficult to uh, uh, it would be difficult uh, to check your output whether you got the correct output or not. So some points to remember: duplicate values are not allowed, the default break statements are optional, nesting of switch statements are also allowed, case does not always need to have order, the expression provided in the switch should result in a constant value, otherwise it would not be valid. Nesting of switch statements are allowed, each case is followed by the value to be compared to and a column. Okay, can switch be nested? Yes, you can also use a nested switch case. Here is an example for this nested switch case. You are having switch of A, inside that one you are having case 100. Okay, so if your A is 100, you will be going to case 100 and you will be printing that statement and you will be going to switch of B, right? So if your B is 200, then you will be printing case 200 and you will be having another statements that are related to your switch. So this is the output for this program. So this is nothing but an example for your nested switch case. You can also use the nested switch case for your switch case program. So switch versus else if ladder. We can use switch statements alternative for an else if ladder. The switch statement is often faster than nested if else ladder. Switch statement syntax is well structured and easy to understand. Using if else, we can test any type of expressions or conditions, whereas using switch, the expression value must be integral. Try to do it yourself. Write a C program to print the month of a year reading the month number. Write a C program to display the caller name reading the first letter, right? Blue, yellow, purple, orange, red, violet, like that. Write a C program to determine if the number is even or odd using switch, and write a C program to implement bitwise operators using switch case. Thank you.